All right. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. It's 420, baby. 420 here. And the sunshine.
Big holiday for some.
Yes, Hitler's birthday, all the above. It's
Yeah.
quite the day. Here in Iowa, I'm Nathan Cruz, joined by my co-host, the big Daddy Borscht Other.
How we doing, Nate?
Good. We're recording during the middle of the day, and it seems right when we do it during the middle of the day. I think the vibes are a little bit better.
Yeah, we're very tired, I feel like, on Monday nights. And that's like no service to the viewer. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in weekly, 5 to 10 of you. This is way better.
We're a little more optimistic. I feel like everything's going wrong in our lives. We're bitching about something. We're tired at night. Not today.
Nope.
Today's
No, it's a whole new week. Dude, I felt so bad joining the podcast last week. Taxes coming up, lots of wedding stuff to figure out, and there's still plenty of that, but it's a lot better week. We turned the page.
Is there something always wrong with these guys' freaking lives?
Yeah, dude, we're in the trenches. I mean, if you just sit back, do your 9 to 5, keep yourself out of the trouble, like, I'm sure life is easy, but we're just not those guys.
No, we're not. But how was your weekend, brother? What'd you get done?
It was really much needed relaxation.
Good.
Did some golf yesterday, but that was about it all weekend.
That's really. You got the bachelor party officially booked.
Got that thing officially booked. We're going to the Ozarks, baby.
We got a pool.
May 14th through 17, we got a pool.
We're golfing.
Hopefully some golf. Yep.
Okay.
If not twice, once. Definitely hit up Backwater Jacks, maybe some Shady Gators, maybe some Redhead Yacht Club, probably the Strip, maybe some Marty Birds. So we have plenty of fun to figure out, but we are officially going.
Yeah.
So that was the big part.
I'm excited about this trip because we're with a bunch of experienced Ozarkers that will become great hosts. That's yourself down there, especially Lurch and Kels. And that always just makes for a better trip. Sure. There's so many times where I've done trips. I've been in the Ozarks by myself. I went with my wife one time, and I didn't know enough. I knew freaking nothing. So,
yeah. But
you put yourself in their surrounding, and they have all the plans. They'll have everything figured out for us. So I'm excited about that part.
That's 100%. That's a huge part of it. It's great to go. I love going on vacation with people that know the area. I think that's a hack.
Oh, it's a huge hack. I was just thinking about one of my favorite vacations I've ever done last year. It was about a year ago today almost. So we went to Denver, and we saw my brother-in-law, Jaden, and his fiance, and I was blown away. I've been thinking about all week about how super hosts they were, and I'm like, God, you know what? That was one of my favorite vacations I've ever been on.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to go to really exotic places if you have locals that can show you around.
They just knew everything, and everything was so fun. It was just so well organized and planned. So yes, having a super host, it's well incredibly worth it.
Yeah, definitely. So the other thing is, I was pushing this reservation booking on VRBO off for a long time because I'm like, am I really going to make people spend $300 to go on a trip? And then I kept talking to people, and they're like, that's kind of par for the course. I talked to Emma Martinson on our team, and she's like, I'm going to Kansas City this weekend for 2 days, and it's $380. So it made me feel better the more I was talking to people, and it helps that everyone's been down to the Ozarks and knows what we're getting into. So we're doing that extra third day, which definitely made things a little bit more expensive. But I think 11 out of 12 people were like, just do it. Like it's going to be worth it.
It was actually cheaper than I thought it was going to be when you said $350. So I'm like, oh yeah, 3 nights.
Definitely did better
in a mansion with a pool. Hopefully the weather's good, and the government, dude. I'm all on your theory that the government is keeping us inside on the weekends. It's
just been consistent.
This is like, unbelievable.
It's great on the weekdays, and then it's the worst on the weekends. We did get out, like I said, we played golf yesterday, but it was like 20-mile-an-hour winds and 50 degrees. It's just been terrible.
Yeah, we forced ourselves onto the course yesterday too. But like, why the weekends? They want to detain us or something, or what? They just make us work all week, and then they feel like they can control us in our houses on the week.
Just so I can maintain my sanity, I don't go much further than just blaming it on the government. But they're up to something.
So this is like what, the third or fourth straight weekend where it's shitty, and it looks like this upcoming weekend's gonna be shitty again. It's just unfucking believable. Yeah. So we were so sick and tired of it this weekend that we forced ourselves into a bonfire. It was like 32 degrees Saturday night out in my backyard, and I'm not dealing with the government shutdown no more. So got out there. We had a nice bonfire. Murph, one of our good friends from Green, just moved across the street from us, and it's just not a good relationship for my health, for his health. He's smoking meat, drinking beer in the driveway. I'm over there doing the same with him throughout the week, and it's It's a lot
I'm
of
trying to
fun.
remember what Murph used to drink back in the day. Is he still drinking like Twisted Teas or Natter Days or
My
something?
God, he's drinking like these garage beers.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
keeps offering me, and I think he's offered me like 7 times. I've said no. He's like, do you not like these? I need to know if I need to quit offering these. And I told him, yeah, I don't think I'll like those. So
Yeah, they're not very good. The Kelsey brothers bought into them about a year ago, but 2 years ago on the Midwest versus the Rest channels, we worked with them on a Super Bowl ad.
hmm
I don't think that the product's great,
I've never
but
had it. I
it's
just
a
don't.
great name.
I'm so stuck in the Coors Light twist. My problem is I start drinking a bunch of different shit. I get messed up, and
Hmm.
that's exactly what freaking happened. He brought his uncle, or it was his uncle or his wife's uncle, made some wine, and this shit looked like moonshine. And we just kept going through bottles of that, and that's where things get
That's really hard to
dangerous.
track how much
Yeah,
you've had to drink then.
it was delicious, and he just popped open another bottle, so we definitely felt the effects the next day.
I tell you what, though, it's great to have neighbors that you know and enjoy hanging out with. That's going to be really fun.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. You just pay for it for the next day. Maybe we'll find a good life balance here moving forward. It's excitement because he just moved in. We're really pumped.
Yeah,
for
you
that.
got to kick it off hot.
Yeah, so we definitely have. But going back to earlier in the week, um, it was a week of active storms in Iowa, and we've notoriously talked about this my entire life, especially on the podcast, that I am the dome. Storms do not hit me. I'll try everything I can to go see them. They will not hit me. Tuesday is when Cedar Falls basically got like the life-threatening size hail that completely destroyed a car wash. All the cars there on University of Avenue were destroyed too at that car wash. And I came home early from that work that day to go golfing with a kid I met at Dyke a couple years ago. I golf with him once or twice a year, so we don't really know each other too much. But he was starting to be concerned. He's like, "Hey, do we need to worry about this weather coming?" I'm like, "Brother, you don't even know. Storms do not hit me. You're the safest person in the world right now, as long as you are next to me." And just to remind you, we're 10 minutes away from my house, and we got 18 holes in unscathed. Not a drop of water ever hit us. Meanwhile, at my house, look at this picture here. We'll throw up here in the chat. My wife sends me this picture of hail that's in between golf ball and baseball size hail with spikes on it. Like yes, you don't want that shit to hit your house, but if it's gonna do, I want to at least see it. And I'm 9 minutes away, and I saw nothing. And the kid was like out there, and he's like, "Dude, this actually is unbelievable. We never got hit." I'm like, "I fucking told you."
I'm really glad you have a witness because I think a lot of people don't understand this, and it's really impossible to understand it if you're just hearing it for the first time on the podcast. But close friends and family really do know that Nate is the dome. Like if you need to be safe and sheltered from a storm, you're the guy to be with. And I need to put this in perspective here. A close friend of ours, Morgan Hagan, had her windshield completely knocked in. Dusty and Scott had to file for insurance because her RAV4 got destroyed by hail. Cedar Falls got decimated, and you just completely avoided it.
Yep. And the worst part about it is Reed Timmer, my all-time favorite storm chaser, drove right by the golf course apparently when I was golfing at it. He's like, "Well, this ain't it." So he drove right by. He was chasing a funnel cloud. Oh yeah, listen to this freaking part too. I get home, and 2 days later, I was talking to my neighbor Nathan. He came up. He's like, "Did you see that funnel cloud in your backyard?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you had a funnel cloud right in your backyard. You didn't see that?" I'm like, "No, I was freaking golfing." I'm like, "You cannot make this up. I've never seen a funnel cloud or tornado in my life, and I've tried everything I fucking possibly can." Meanwhile, I'm 9 miles away. I see no rain, no hail, no nothing. And there's a freaking funnel cloud directly in my backyard. I think some people were submitting that picture to Iowa Chill and Hudson of a funnel cloud.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
yep.
He's like, "Yeah, it just dropped, kind of started around your house and dropped towards Butterfield Drive, which is a quarter mile away from my house, southeast." And he's like, ultimately went back up and didn't come down on the ground. But yeah, there's a funnel cloud in your backyard.
And for most people, they would be thankful. And for you, it's like the worst nightmare because you just want to witness a storm, which we got so much of last week. And we just missed it barely on last week's recording. We clickbaited people a little bit and said this was the tornado season, even though we technically didn't even have anything yet. But now we have had officially more tornado warnings in Iowa than we did all of 2025. Yeah, so it was a really calm year last year. It is not going to be calm this year.
Well, I know. So not all of 2025. I'm pretty sure it's a record up to this date in state of Iowa history. And which is crazy because 2 years ago, I think we were number one in the country in tornadoes. So Tornado Alley we've always been it, but I feel like the epicenter was always like Oklahoma City. I think it's shifting more towards like Iowa. Hell, Minnesota has been getting them too, and I still can't fucking see one.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't us that has set a record already, but I'm pretty sure Wisconsin or Minnesota has already gotten more warnings this year than they did all of last year. So it's just been a really, really wild storm year, and I don't think it's slowing down. I just saw like either max velocity or read. Somebody was saying that the projections for end of April and May is not good.
Mm-hmm. I see we're in the target zone for Thursday evening. I think when you get to town here.
Yep.
So you're safe. You're safe, brother. So yeah, more storms coming Thursday, Friday. It looks like.
Yeah, we'll be in town. Darian's finishing up her wedding dress alterations. It sounds like it's Colby's birthday.
So I lied to you. It's Wednesday, but we still might go
Wednesday.
off Thursday though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, how long has it been since we had Colby's party bus that broke down in Denver?
Was that his dirty 30? So 6 years ago? Was that really 6 years ago? It was 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was his 30 or 31st we did it. But yeah, what a day that was. Broke down in Denver. So he's turning 36. Big ol'. It's getting older and older.
I don't even think I told you that I booked a party bus for the way back from the wedding, from St. Charles to the hotels.
Nice.
Yeah, so maybe we can break out our old party bus vibrations. I know we got to see a little bit of that in Vegas.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it'll be good for us to get back on that. So that's cool. I like knowing that I don't have to worry about trying to get from A to B at that time of the night.
Everyone's got a shuttle.
Yeah, cool.
That's the plan. Definitely more harsh weather coming. What are we even talking about today, Nate? I feel like so much has happened since our last recording.
We will get into the weather records here on April 20th. Bryce, you guys had a high of 66 degrees here in Des Moines for today. And looking at the all-time weather records for April 20th is record high of 86 degrees brought to you in 1987. Lowest temperature, 26 degrees in 2013. Most precipitation, 1.5 inches in 1930. Most snow, 3.5 inches, set back in 1959. And your average high of 63.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Cresco, Iowa, up in the northeast corner, was getting some snow yesterday.
Were they really? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Dude, Minnesota's had a brutal year.
Yep.
Brutal.
Yeah, dude, I have cousins in the Upper Peninsula, and they are still completely covered with snow.
That's unbelievable.
That would suck.
We talked about how long this winter has, and we got like periods of breaks. I feel like they just continually get pounded by Mother Nature, and they're still fighting.
Can you imagine 8 months of winter?
There's no way. Everybody's on the same page. But we talked about how long of a winter it was, and Minnesota just never got a break. So
no, couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. I love the North. I think it's beautiful, but I could never live there.
All right, your Iowa fact of the week today, Bryce. We're looking at Lake Okoboji for this fact. And if you were to dig a trench, Bryce, a foot wide and a foot deep, and take all the water in Okoboji and fill that trench, how long do you think that trench could be?
Oh, I bet you could stretch halfway through the earth. I have no idea.
It's a hard one. Bryce, you would be able to stretch 97 million miles with a foot wide and a foot deep of all that water in Okoboji. And just to put that to reference, Earth to the sun is 95 million miles.
Nice. So a few times over from what I said.
Mm-hmm. So you
97 million times over.
You would be able to. It's like, in feet wise, it's like 500 billion feet. But yeah, in miles, you would be able to get to from here to the sun with 2 miles or 2 million miles to spare.
It's a lot of water.
This is a cool fact.
Water is it's a really cool fact, and water is just like mystifying. Like now, imagine the oceans. How far could you stretch that thing?
Oh my God.
The Milky Way galaxy.
Right. We talk about the speed of light at this time, how far we can get. But yeah, I seem to be on the water fact. I do rivers, then I do lakes, and then I go back to the rivers and seem to be in that case.
Yeah, the water. The one last week was fun too.
Rivers, about stretching around. How many times you can stretch around the state of Iowa? God, what was it? Was it 3 times? 3 or 4 times?
It's like it was like 43.
Was it?
I thought.
Oh shit,
crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. All right, we'll go to on this day in Iowa. It's April 20th here, and I didn't know. I had no idea this happened. So the USS Iowa explosion happened on April 20th in 1989, which was a massive
Dang.
explosion that rocked the number 2 gun turret of the USS Iowa during a gunnery exercise. The accident resulted in the deaths of 47 crew members and prompted major investigations and eventually decommissioned the ship. That's huge. That's actually massive news. I never knew that was a thing.
That's huge.
I can't
That's
believe.
the ship that you were on,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. I can't believe. Maybe they told us. I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, never knew about it. 47 crew members
Interesting that
died from
it
that.
was that. Yeah, that's really tragic. That sucks.
Just during the exercise too.
Right, that it wasn't even in battle is crazy.
So that's why it was decommissioned. I thought it was just an old ship, and like, well, it's time just to put this thing out of service. No, it basically shot itself down. So, and it's this time of the year we're gonna get some record, or on the state of Iowa. It's gonna be weather related usually. A record-setting tornado set back in 2025. So last year, the National Weather Service confirmed that a tornado on April 20th, 2025 in southwest Iowa near Randolph and Essex was approximately 3,130 yards wide, roughly 1.75 miles wide, making it the wildest tornado record for the state.
Massive tornado. Luckily, I feel like what was the biggest one last week? They weren't huge.
No.
We just had a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't even really heard much about tornadoes. I think this kind of just been hitting some fields. I don't think any towns have been really making an impact. Maybe one town, but nothing 1.75 miles wide.
That's the ones that really make some destruction happen.
God, how wide was Parkersburg tornado? I think that was a mile wide at its peak. How wide was? I've been in the tornado shit so much. I've been watching so many documentaries. Okay, the Parker's 1.2 miles.
1.2.
So 2,100
yards.
yards.
Massive.
This was a half mile wider than that yet.
Yeah.
But I had that had highest winds were 205 miles an hour for the Parkersburg one.
The Greenfield one looks like it was just over a mile wide too. So I mean, yeah, 1.75 is crazy big.
All right, give me some good news here because I need it. And let's start with the basketball.
Yes.
Let's go Audi Crooks first here. So Audi Crooks, arguably the best player in Iowa State history, announced her transfer portal entry 3 weeks ago, and has officially decided where she's going as of last night, and she's heading to Stillwater, Oklahoma State, to be a Cowboy.
What are your thoughts on this? Is this a good fit for Audi?
I don't know anything about Oklahoma State women's basketball. Absolutely zero thing.
Which makes me nervous because I'm in the same boat, and I just don't know how much more prolific that team is.
I don't know if some of her teammates from Iowa State are going there with her or what, or else like Oklahoma State just got a bunch of NIL money, which seems unlikely because I thought she would just probably take the best deal she possibly could. But I also knew that she wants to stay somewhat in the Midwest, so she can stay close to her mom, make it a little bit easier access for her, go watch her basketball games. But again, I have no problem for this. Does she get booed? Because she's in the Big 12, does she get booed when she comes back to Hilton? What do you think?
I didn't love that part of the move. I'm like, that seems kind of tough to have to come back to a home court that you called home for so long and all the fans that cheered you on for so long. So I don't love that she stayed in the conference, especially after the rumors kind of saying that she might go to the Big Ten. But to your point, I don't know much about Oklahoma State. They're not obviously UConn or South Carolina or LSU or Iowa now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but I hope it's the right move for her.
The problem is those big programs that a lot of people obviously, rightfully so, anticipate her going to, that those programs have so many high talented players that there's too much wealth being spread. So she probably had to find a right niche where they're still looking for that superstar player, where the majority of the pot could probably go to her. I'm speculating here. That's just what I'm guessing. But
one thing I can also guess is that the NIL fund is probably a lot bigger with oil money than it is in Iowa State and Ames.
Yeah, definitely. Even though Oklahoma State's coach Mike, was it Van Gundy? What's his name? Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy, who got fired last year, was bitching about how his had basically no NIL money. And if the football program's not getting it, why is the women's basketball program getting it? So I don't know.
That's a good point.
But to go back to the question, does she deserve to get booed? I would say if 95% of your team leaves, you get a freeway ticket, in my opinion. You especially nowadays. Get out of here. You should be welcome back. You should be clapped for it, applauded. I don't know. Well, it depends if they actually even played Iowa State. Maybe she strategically picked a school that wasn't playing at Iowa State this year.
That would have been smart.
But no, if they do, no, don't deserve to get booed. They did too much.
I agree, but I know that fans are insane. And sometimes they have hard feelings. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the only time you can do that is if you're LeBron James and you win a title for that school and then go somewhere else or program.
Yeah. And the flip side of things, Iowa men's basketball probably get their biggest recruit. And I don't even know, not recruit, but commit from the transfer portal. And I've not been this more excited about a player announcing his commitment to the University of Iowa and forever. Iowa lands 7'3" St. Mary's center Andrew McKeever out of the portal.
So exciting! First 7-footer, I believe, since Adam Woodbury, and we kind of said this.
Adam Woodbury's not even. That's the thing. Yeah, you're right, but he was not a true 7-footer because he couldn't.
No, and he sucked.
He had alligator arms. Yeah. I appreciated his hustle on defense, but he was just not a factor at the rim and ball protection and blocking shots. This guy's 7'3" hanging down there. You know, bad.
I'm looking at his.
We needed him last year.
Yes, we needed size badly, and I'm really excited to see what McCollum can do with this guy. But what really excited me was seeing his tape. He can move. He's an agile 7'3" guy.
And he's big boned, not fat, not like muscular or anything. He's just big boned, which is fine for a 7'3" guy, right? He's not just 7 foot. He's 7'3". I don't think people underestimate how large that is. He's an inch shorter than what Victor Wembanyama, and obviously doesn't have the alien arms if he does, but just a key piece to Iowa's roster next year. And the fact that I love Cam Mannion, but the fact that we had to throw Cam Mannion at like Mara from Michigan and all these 7-footers and 7'2" guys in the paint, the 5'7" from Illinois, it wasn't physically possible day in and day out. Now you can just kind of take a breath and relax, knowing that his presence is down there. And Iowa brings in some major height now. We got 7'3", and then we have like 5 guys who are 6'7" plus from the small forward position through the power forward. And I think we just need a shooting guard because we just got the Coleman transfer from Illinois State, a young point guard. It sounds like there's a lot of upside with them, very young, but a lot of time left. And Kale Cohen's returning. So if Iowa can get maybe just one shooting guard, this team is loaded.
Stacked and ready to go. I think a lot of people had questions what McCollum would do after all of his boys transferred over and then graduated, and he so far is off to a really hot start. And it sounds like he has a ton of 3, 4, and even 5 stars in classes of 26 and 27. So I feel like he's living up to the standard that people are putting on him already.
So I will be renewing my basketball season tickets here, and I'm more excited for the basketball season than for the football season, and that's never been said here. There's an empire being built in Iowa City.
I am pretty pumped about football too, but I will admit I think the basketball program probably has a chance of going further in the postseason.
Oh, they already have. It took them 1 year.
Yeah,
it took them 1 year. Go farther. What you mean, boy?
That's true.
It took 1 year to get it done. All right, we'll bring the news back here to the great Cedar Falls, Cedar Valley area because we've done quite a few segments on this podcast shitting on all the terrible malls.
Yes.
In the state, and there are some atrocious malls like Spencer, Ottumwa, Mason City, Fort Dodge got rid of their mall. Thank the Lord. Just areas that no longer needed to have these malls, and Cedar Falls was one of them. Cedar Falls had one of the worst malls in the state, and for an area that's so successful with almost any business you decide to pit in this area, it seems to work. The mall was not cutting it out. You had Who Hot running it, and like a bath in that candle shop. What do you call it? Is a Bath and Body Works? I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
The soap. So, and then Von Mar on the backside, and then 40 vacant spots. But Bryce, the revival is happening here. The mall at College Square in Cedar Falls is undergoing major revitalization under a new local ownership, Mr. John Davis, owner of the local Slumberland, who purchased
Okay.
it in March 2026. A grand reopening and community open house were held on April 10th to showcase the rejuvenated space, which is rebranding as a community-focused hub with plans to fill 42 vacant available rental spaces. And look at the picture from the grand opening. There's our boy Danny, Mayor Danny. Is that what's his
Danny
name?
there.
Christian. Remember him?
Yeah, that might be Christian in there.
It's-
Christian Gray.
Yep. God, he's behind everything nowadays. And look at that. The Iowa
Those
Woo,
pictures are a little small. I can't quite tell, but
the
I
Iowa
love the
Woo
turn.
mascot is there.
Yeah, that's huge. That's major.
Did you know that they're playing at the Unidome this year?
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Cool.
that's way cool. So I won't go for a United football Panther game, but I will be there for an Iowa Woo football game. See my
Shows
boy.
you how popular the Woo's gotten.
They have, yeah.
Big upgrade.
So shout out to
Yeah,
Cedar Falls. I don't know if this is gonna work, but they're trying.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I remember hearing at some point what they were doing with it. I like the sounds of it. Over here in Waukee, they're building the Kettlestone Plaza, and it's going to be a big food court and this and that. And I think that those kind of things play a lot better than a strip mall these days. I think you got to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like most of the shopping in Cedar Falls takes place out in Viking, near like the Target area, with like Shields, all of that. You can just kind of hop around between those shops. And I don't know what you're gonna do. That's just a weird part of town. I think that's mostly just for food on University.
Yeah.
And other shopping maybe on Main Street. Main Street's like a little bit of like small business shops and food restaurants. So they're giving it a shot. We'll see what's up. I have full faith in Mr. John Davis and Mayor Danny getting this thing up and running again.
Yeah. No, I believe. I think that Cedar Falls is in pretty good hands with all the developers, and it seems like a pretty cooperative city government. So I got faith. Cedar Falls is doing everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of malls, though, it's about to be crazy town over in Jordan Creek with the Drake Realize April 22 through 25 this week. You ever been to the Drake Relays?
No, but are they doing the high jump, or the pole? What's that called at the mall?
The pole vault?
The pole vault.
Yeah. So Emma Criswell posts this today on the Iowa Chill that they have done pole vaulting in the mall. Never ever knew about this.
Oh yeah, I knew about this. I didn't know they still did it.
is
I
crazy.
thought it was like a one-time thing though.
It has to have been a one-time thing. So I'm not sure when that picture was posted. We'll throw it up on the screen, but
I think it was a long time ago.
because there were some comments saying that it's happened at the city capitol before, so it must just be one of those things that they move around and kind of make it part of the town.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Yeah, someday I would like to go. I know it's a spectacle. You get great athletes from all over the place coming for that. But
Yeah, the famous Drake Relays, Too bad there'll be running some. You said it starts the 22nd, so Wednesday.
yeah, Wednesday through Saturday.
Ooh, so the late championships will get some impact by weather. Okay.
Yeah, you're flirting with danger having something like outdoor track in April, which is always funny. I remember doing spring sports in high school, and
There's some cold meets, bro.
yeah,
Because there's some cold ass meets. I hated those. All right, do you want to talk about these tornadoes that touch place? Iowa?
yeah, we got to touch on it.
Okay. Most of them Tuesday. I don't think anyone hit. I tried storm chasing Friday on the way home from work, and I stopped in Urbana for like a half hour. No, it just got rain, and I couldn't have been any more dead center than a supercell, but whatever. So we had an EF1 tornado in Masonville, traveled 4.3 miles from 5:25 to 5:33 p.m. Viewers reported trees down, telephone poles bent, farm buildings damaged in the area. So just your average typical EF1 tornado. Another one hits Dubuque that traveled 3.4 miles in 4 minutes, speeds up to 105 miles an hour. And then another confirmed tornado in Onslow. Heard about this one. The top wind speeds were not measured, so it does not have an EF rating. So it traveled about 2.6 miles. So nothing violent at all. Just some little cuteness.
No, like you said earlier in the episode, it's a lot of farm fields. I think my favorite video was the Webb, Iowa tornado sent in by Custom Cole. He sprints after the tornado, flips over a barbed wire fence, and continues running directly at it, and gets, I think, some of the best tornado footage I've ever seen. Just on foot.
That and the tornado in Wyoming, Iowa, just east of Anamosa, a guy flew a drone into the tornado. We have drones that can fly into tornadoes now. So I didn't know that was a possibility.
I don't know how much you looked into that one. That guy's like a Emmy Award winning weather journalist.
No, he's got to be.
So he's
knew
got
what he was doing.
Legit equipment for sure.
I went to his page.
Yeah, dude, he takes the fucking cake for me because he's just I'm on my farm. I'm going to run after this tornado, and just the true spirit of Iowa. But yeah, dude, that drone footage was incredible. That was so cool.
All right, before we wrap up, new segment here, and we get into our draft, which we're going to be drafting our top 5 favorite golf courses here in the state of Iowa. Last sports segment here, Iowa State adds women's wrestling.
Yeah. I think it's a great addition to the program. I know that a lot of people were up in arms about gymnastics, and say what you will, it didn't work out for the program. Wrestling is one of the top 5 things you think about when you think of the state of Iowa. I think it's an incredible ad for the university.
Iowa women have had, God, how long has their program been there? 2 years now? 2-3 years. They've had a lot of success. Obviously, the competition pool is a lot smaller as it continues to grow, but we've seen it for the last 10 years, high school women wrestling pick up. So at least they're replacing gymnastics with something cool. And I don't know much about wrestling, but kudos to them for adding another program.
Yeah, no, I think if you're going to add anything, that's the move, especially in this state.
Now, if I'm at Iowa, I'm getting rid of Iowa's wrestling. I'm getting rid of gymnastics. I'm getting rid of fucking rowing. Getting rid of all the shit. Give me all of your money, all the money that we spent on this freaking sports. I'm putting it directly into football and basketball. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see Iowa State.
You're anti-Title IX.
I'm happy to see Iowa State continue to add more. I'm going to message Pollard, say, you guys really need a rowing team that needs to travel 30 times a month.
Nate, I'm worried that if everybody had it their way, they'd probably do it your way and just put money in those 2 sports, and then we'd never have anybody else competing in college athletics.
I would ruin college athletics in 2 years as commissioner.
Baseball. I think we need you and I baseball back.
There's Iowa does this once a year. They'll do like a giving day for Iowa or something like that. I don't know how they title it, what the hashtag is, but it's a day of giving for 24 hours. We can just donate to all these sports, every single sport. And I go on and I see where all you can tell how many donations are happening. And I remember 2 years ago, the top donation, at least the quantity, it wasn't the top number, but the top quantity of donors was fucking Iowa rowing. You know how pissed off I was?
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, this is why we can't get into the college football playoff. We're worried about our freaking rowing team.
Yeah, I know. And then there's all these Twitter accounts nationally ranking, programs that have won major sports titles. And it's like, is rowing ever in there? Is the debate team ever in there? No. Do I think those things are great? Yes, I do. And I know that it's expensive to travel and do all this stuff, but we know what is actually bringing money to the university and popularity and more recruits and more enrollment. And it is those 2 sports for sure.
Yeah. That's not like the worst guy of all time, but I encourage these people to be athletes, go out there and find their niche, whatever sport they love. But as a selfish Iowa football and basketball fan, it hurts.
Well, I'm sure there's more people than we would like to admit that would like more investment into wrestling, but
wrestling's like their own niche, though. Their Iowa wrestling money is not taken away from any basketball or football because these guys are it's their own universe over there.
It's true.
So if you lose Iowa wrestling, you're likely not even getting that money anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's way less people. It's way less expensive. There's not a ton of equipment, so it is what it is.
All right, Bryce. Let's wrap up the show with today's draft and drafting our top 5 favorite golf courses. Iowa. Go ahead, lead us off.
This is a good one, Nate. I think this is one that will get some clicks. People will be interested. I think a lot of the rankings online are usually pretty similar. I saw plenty of new ones though that I would like to try. So I've got 10 listed. I'm hoping that you don't pick all my choices, but I will start off with Blue Top Ridge, which I played for the very first time last year with you and Scotty B, and I will 100% be going back this summer. PGA Championship course. From the tips, it's like 7,600 yards. Very difficult. The day we played was like 93 degrees, but it was a blast. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, the course in Riverside, Iowa. I had fun the front 9, and then I think the heat got to me, and I had one like quadruple bogey. At that point, I was just done. The clubs were slipping out of my hand.
Dude, it was so hot. Yeah, that sucked.
Good course though. It's one of those courses where you feel bad taking a divot. You know.
Yeah. Oh, it was in incredible shape because they had the Corn Ferry Tour there the day after we played it, so it was just in mint condition.
All right, I'm gonna start off with Brown Deer. I love Brown Deer. It's a course that's beautiful. It's a slightly challenging, but it's short, and it's a course that makes you feel good about your game, I think. You know, if you can hit it straight, which I know that's a huge fucking favor to ask in Brown Deer or in golf in general. Hell, even it's a little more forgiving than some other courses too. But it's a short course, which a guy like me who incredibly last year with the slice, I'm moving away from that part of the game, but it was favorable to me, and I always appreciate going out there.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that stood out was that it was really well manicured. I thought it was taken care of very nicely. I think it's under construction this year. And yeah, definitely a lot of par 4s under 400 yards. It's great condition though. I'd play it again. Finkbine too. I think both those are under, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I'm going to come back here with give me Garner and Marion. Garner Country Club in Marion.
Okay. Tell me about that one.
I've golfed there 3 times here in the last year. I go with my coworkers in Boston. I was just out there 2 weeks ago. And to me, it's like the greenest course I've ever played on. I don't know why. It's just so green. And I happen to play some of my best golf out there for some reason. You know, I chipped in for 40 out there, almost chipped in from 150 yards out to the next 2 holes. But I don't know. It's a game that also it's another course that can make it's very forgiving too, for the most part. Pretty wide open. Okay. You can go a fairway over and come back in. Those are my type of golf courses. For that, Garner makes a list.
We're gonna struggle a little bit in the Ozarks in about they're not even 30 days, like 20 days. Everything's tight, uneven lies. Luckily, we're playing some best ball. Never been to Garner. Sounds awesome. Every course right now is super green, and it is the time to go play if we ever get a nice day on a weekend. I'm trying to think what I want to circle back here with Nate, because I have a ton of them that I like. I think I'm going to hold off. Give me Honey Creek in Boone. Now, this is also one I played for the first time last year, and I'm really looking forward to going back. I'd say the front 9 gives me some of that Brown Deer vibe, where it's pretty flat, pretty, normal structure. And then on the back 9, it turns into like a state park, like where you're having a lot of elevated tees, beautiful scenery. Got to take Honey Creek.
Yeah.
Boone.
Is it hilly?
It is. Only on the back 9 though.
Okay, those type of courses scare me. That's why I like Garner. Very flat. So you're gonna see most of the courses I have in here are flat. So Honey Creek. Okay, what's your next?
Then I'll go back with another crazy terrain, Tournament Club of Iowa in Polk City. This is ever since I started playing golf has been one of my favorites. It's a little bit of a drive for me, 30 minutes or so to Polk City, but it's worth it every single time. Not in as good of condition as it has been in the past. I think it went through a recent ownership change, but it's still one of those like top scenic courses in the Des Moines area, and you got to go play it if you're around here.
Okay. I'm going to hit you with Waveland.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Waveland. Even though I literally just said I like flat courses, Waveland is anything but flat. And the reason I like it, I've only played there once. We went there for my bachelor party 3 years ago, and it was like the most perfect temperature day in the history of days. It was unbelievable how perfect temperature that was. And Fluff chipped in from like 160 yards out or something like that too that day. So
hole 11.
A lot of great vibes with a lot of great dudes out there. The holes aren't the fairways like ridiculously wide. Am I thinking right?
Some of them are.
Okay.
You'll have some tree lined, like especially the first like 4 or 5 holes, and then it gets a little bit more open. And you could not have played on a better day.
Yeah, and this is the oldest course in Iowa.
the oldest public course west of the Mississippi.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
shit.
all of,
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of history there. And it was
Mhm.
just cool to be part of that history and just fluff chipping in and the boys and just the most perfect weather day. So a lot of nostalgia when I think about Waveland.
Mhm.
Coming back here with, okay, I'm going to save my favorite one for last. I know you're not going to take this one. Okay. My fourth pick is Maple Heights Golf Course in Elma, Iowa. Now,
Okay.
if you're a zero handicap guy or scratch golf, you're thinking, what the hell? Why are you picking this bum course up in bum effing Northeast Iowa?
Mm-hmm.
Small town courses are so special.
Yeah.
And I had to throw one on here. Okay, it's a 9-hole course, and it's well kept up enough. It's just you can go on anytime you want. You can hop on any hole. Oh, some guys are over here. Oh, well, Bob and Jerry, they're on hole 4. Let's go catch up with them. You know, it's the culture's the vibe there, and I love it. And there's some different holes there where, oh, we could put this as a par 4, but if we want, we could take the detour, go around, and make it a par 3 and hit over the water. So there's some quirkiness to it.
Oh.
And I appreciate that. So you can get creative with that course. And it's just good enough to where you're not frustrated about playing on a small town course, you know, like
Mhm.
a random ass sand trap out in the middle of nowhere that's hasn't been taken care of in 10 years. It's kept up enough. And it's perfect for what you need in that town.
I love it, Nate. I do have a couple honorable mentions for Sonny Bray and Osage for Cresco Country Club. I couldn't throw them on there because technically they're not my favorite or what I would qualify as like a top golf course, but I love that you threw some small town in there. What is the place we played the big money tournament in Green? What's the Green golf course called?
I don't know. I don't know what's that called.
Let's look it up quick.
Find out real
Round
quick.
Grove? Sound right?
I don't even know.
Round
Chris,
Grove
I
and
know
Green?
Chris is working on the committee out there now. Did you know that?
Nice. That's what it needs.
Yeah,
It
Round
was
Grove.
flooding last year.
Round Grove Golf Club. Yep. Some tough hole
Love those small
placements.
town ones.
Those pin placements are tough out there.
Yeah. Had a blast there. And I think that's like if you're in a scramble and you're like in one of those tournaments, there's no better place than those kind of courses. So I'm glad you threw a small one on there. I've got a couple that I really, really like. I might go to Ames, Iowa City. There's one in Burlington that I haven't been to that's always on the top of the list, Spirit Hollow. I don't think I can go there. So I'm going to go with Amana Colonnades for my fourth. And then I'm going to do Vinker Coldwater. That's kind of cheating for my last one, but Vinker up in Ames and Coldwater up in Ames. Both courses very different. The Iowa Masters is held at Vinker every year. Very, very tough test of golf. Some goofy holes.
Forgot about that.
And then Coldwater, right smack dab in the middle of the university. Very, very fun. Kind of feels like a link style course.
So you said Anamosa too?
Vinker and Coldwater, and then Amana Colonies.
Oh, Amana Colonies.
Yep.
If I were to do a top 5 most hated golf course, Amana Colonies would be number 1 on my list.
That's a tough course.
And that's when I first really started playing golf, and I went there once, and I caught it at a bad time.
You need about 20 golf balls.
I've lost 20 plus golf balls that day. I was so fucking frustrated, and I promised myself I will never go back there ever again. And I still yell at the friend. His name's Sam. I still yell at him to this day for bringing me to that golf course that day. It was just it was
it's beautiful. It is tight. We played on a pretty cold day. I would totally go back. I want to see like how much the game's improved, but yeah, it's not easy by any means.
Don't need to worry about putting me in that text message then, because I hate that place. All right. But everyone says they love it. I'm like one of the few that hate it, but they understand why I hate it, you know?
Yeah, the valid reasons for sure.
Okay. My number 1 golf course, it's my favorite golf course in the state of Iowa. It's back in my area. It's called Spring Valley. It's an 18-hole golf course.
Yeah, I saw this showed up on the list.
It's tucked away in the middle of nowhere, and my good friend Victor Birdie and his family run it. You know, it's a family operation, and nobody cares and does better work in maintaining a golf course than that family. Very hardworking, very loyal to it, and they've done it for years. And Dallas Clark has this foundation every year out there too. So if Dallas Clark and Peyton Manning, Bob Sanders, they've all golfed in it. If you're getting those guys on the golf course, you know it's going to be a premier golf course, okay? I'm not bringing Peyton Manning back to my 9-hole golf course in town, but I'm going to bring him to Spring Valley. And the best part, it's in the middle of nowhere. You're going through all these wavy country roads, and you pull up to beautiful, beautiful Spring Valley. They'll have state tournaments there very frequently too. And man, I was just so incredibly lucky for the 1 year I went for golf. That was our home, consider a home golf course, and we were spoiled.
Yeah. You know, that's a great point. Actually, living next to a really nice golf course. I know, like, we're spoiled here in Des Moines. You're like 30 or 40 minutes away from like 10 to 15 that you can have a great time at. Same deal in Cedar Falls, Waterloo. But just having that accessibility, like those people in the Spring Valley area are definitely spoiled if you're making the top 10 list in public golf courses in Iowa.
Bohannon,
Hey, I've got a
Bohannon snuck on it one time
Bohannon,
too.
those
He tweeted saying, "This is like the most underrated golf course I've ever been to, or a hidden gem of a golf course," and that's a perfect way to
yeah,
describe it.
never been, but I did see it on a
Mm-hmm.
ton of the lists when I was
It's
putting
awesome.
together my top 15. Have you ever been to Spirit Hollow in Burlington?
No,
Have you been to the Preserve down in Moravia?
no,
Have you been to Boss Landon?
no.
There's a few, Nate, that I think we got to do together. But yeah, there's great golf in Iowa. There's something about our latitude. I remember seeing some map of where Iowa sits on the map is actually a great combination for heat, rain, everything. We get spoiled by golf here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. And my problem is I like golf on a golf course so much because like when I get a memberships there, because when I hit a ball, I know exactly where it's going, and I love that factor.
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy. I need to get out of
Mm-hmm.
that, so I need to embrace
Mm-hmm.
these new golf courses around me and go out and explore what Iowa has to offer.
Well, and you got to give yourself a little bit of a longer leash because you play something for the first time. And not even the pros do that. You go and play a very tough course as a pro. You've probably already done a couple practice rounds, worked the greens, stuff
You're
that
right.
you just don't think of as an amateur.
You're right. I'm not a professional. I just need to go out there and have fun, hit the golf ball.
Yep. Can't wait. If we can get around in this Friday, I would love to. I know that we have a meeting with Mr. Greg Joss at some point. So
We'll see if the
not,
weather.
we'll definitely get some rounds in.
We'll see if the weather allows it, though. Government wants to keep us inside again.
Yeah, I know. Either which way, we'll find a way to get some rounds in this summer.
Okay. All right. You guys all have a good week. Stay safe with some storms coming up again. If you want to stay safe, come to Cedar Falls and hang around me. Storms won't touch you. But until then,
I'm planning on it.
we'll see y'all next week.
See you, everybody.